Hi guys, welcome to India.
Thank
I'm
you.
Vedika from PTI. My first question to Matt. Matt, you have been in Oppenheimer, you have been in Interstellar. So you've graduated to the leading man,
Yes,
quite literally.
finally.
So what was the third time like?
It was incredible. I mean, I love working with Chris. I love his approach. I love his crew, and it's always it's such a pure work experience. I mean, he elevates the project and puts it in the center, and everybody just checks their ego and focuses on this project, and so to finally get this huge role in what is as ambitious a movie as I'd ever seen. It was really the thrill of a lifetime.
You guys enjoyed the welcome you got from the audiences?
It was amazing.
It was really emotional, actually.
We were saying it was very emotional because it was the first real audience, because we'd seen it at premieres, and so, but that's your family and friends, and which is wonderful. But to see a pure audience, it was the first time we got the chance to engage with them right after they'd seen it, and it was really exciting.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
Tom, you are collaborating with Chris for the first time. What was it like? Did you exchange some notes with the veterans who have worked with him before?
Yeah, I definitely had a very long conversation with Robert Downey, and then one of my best friends in life has worked with Chris for I think 20 years. He's our stunt coordinator, and every time him and I would get together for dinner, he would tell me, you have to do whatever it takes to find yourself on a Christopher Nolan set. But what I love about being an actor, there are times on set where you really get to stand in the middle of the room and do nothing. And that's when the camera's not rolling. And for me, I like to learn from people by watching them and watching the way they behave and treat people and work with people. So for me, I had the perfect, footprints to try and follow in Annie and in Matt. So I was kind of spoilt for choice when it comes to lessons.
How has been your interaction or experience with Indian audiences, and how aware are you of the cinema culture that we have here in multiple languages?
I've been here many times, yeah, and I also shot here in 2003 for The Bourne Supremacy, which was the second Jason Bourne movie. So we lived in North and South Goa for about a month, and so I have wonderful memories about being here and interacting with Indian cinema culture from the other side, from the crew side. We had local crew. They were awesome, and that sequence in that movie really set up the rest of that franchise. It's the first act of the second film, and it was a critical act to get right.
Tom?
For me, I'm just always so touched by how welcoming everyone is, and we had dinner last night, and it wasn't just a dinner, it was an experience. Every dish came with a piece of knowledge and information about Indian culture, even as far as the cutlery we used to the types of cups we were using. It was an experience. And for me, coming here, I come from England, and we have a huge Indian population in England, so I feel really connected to India. And I really want to come back on a holiday and explore the country and see the countryside and meet the people. I've been lucky enough to come here twice now for work, but I really would love to come back for pleasure.
Do you have a list where you want to go?
I really want to see the country. I want to see the countryside. I want to kind of explore, more outside of the bigger cities.
This is not your first rodeo when it comes to shooting like large-scale movies. But what was different this time? What were the challenges, and what were like moments where we were like, really, this is happening? I'm like surprised completely.
Well, number one,
Both of you.
Shooting it all in IMAX, that had never been attempted before. It had never been possible. But they invented a system that could quiet the camera, which, when it was on the camera, weighed over 300 pounds. And so imagine these grips carrying this stuff around, like up mountains. And I mean, it was just the amount. I would get to locations and just shake my head and go, who thought we should shoot a movie here? This is crazy. Some days started with a hike, up a mountain, and and then a hike down all together. At the end of the day, and that was the beauty of it, was every single person was in it. There was no special treatment. It was, and everyone was there for the love of cinema, and we knew what we were doing was really challenging, and that was the joy.
what was the most challenging physically?
It's impossible to say. Impossible to say. I mean, we were on a boat. The rule number one in Hollywood is never go on a boat. We were on a boat for months. We were at the top of mountains. We were in a cave that you had to hike up to get to, and then shot inside a cave for 2 weeks. It just, every location presented a different challenge, and they were equally difficult, but in completely different ways.
Tom?
I think
If
for
you had to
me,
describe
the
this.
biggest challenge, and I feel a little embarrassed saying this because I didn't work as hard as Matt did, but was the endurance. You know, this story is epic, and the adventure that we're going on is as grand as any. And finding that energy and keeping up that momentum for the duration of the shoot was really, really difficult. And I can only imagine what that must have been like for you know, Matt and his crew. It was just the daily struggle of trying to make sure that what we were doing felt epic. For me, was probably the biggest challenge.
You've come home quite a time in
Yeah.
Hollywood, and how was this time?
It was fantastic. It was the experience of a lifetime, and the movies where I get to come home so far are Saving Private Ryan, Interstellar, The Martian, and this one. So I'm happy to keep getting lost.
Yeah, that's a good list.
Yeah.
So final word for what the audiences are expecting here, because Chris is quite the rock star here for the audiences, cinephiles. Yeah. So final words for those who are going to watch.
Yeah, I think he's put all of the skill that he's built over his incredible career, and he brought it all to bear on this project, because this project is like 6 movies in one, and you are seeing everything he has in his toolkit in this movie, and it's all been captured on the largest format that it's ever been done on. So it's definitely one to see at the cinema.
I would have to say that this movie is the first of its kind, and going to see this film will be unlike anything that you've ever seen before. And for a community of people that love cinema as much as you guys do here, this will be one of those moments where you'll be comparing every cinema experience you have after this one to The Odyssey.